Hi humans, Apocalypse here back with a new video. In this video I'll be going over 5 tips that's going to help you instantly improve in Apex. Start to get into is aim. I did make a video, my last video was about an aiming video. I recommend you guys go watch it, but improve your aim. It's going to make you a much better player. If you go to the firing range and practice with specific weapons that you use all the time, and even weapons that you don't be using that much, it's going to make you become a better player. Also go into arenas, arenas is there for a reason. You can go in, test out your gun skills with specific weapons that you want to improve on, actually try it on people that are actually playing, trying to kill you. So I definitely recommend learning like the tracking and the recoil pattern of weapons. Mainly the weapons you use, but also weapons that not everyone uses or that you'll get off spawn. That way you know how to handle yourself in all situations. Next tip is going to be master one legend. Now a lot of people use different legends and that's okay, but I would say focus on one legend and try to get around 500 to 1k kills on that legend. Once you got like enough kills, enough experience, then you know how the legend works. I look at guides on like how to use that legend so you could really utilize their abilities and their ult and really figure out like what weapons are good for that legend. And then once you've figured it out and you've used the legend enough, then move on to another legend. If you switch legends all the time, you're either going to forget each legend's ability or confuse them with each other. Like you might try and queue to use Horizon's grab lift and you might end up just using Octane stim by accident. So like you really want to be focused to one legend, get good with that legend, and then learn how to use their abilities in every situation and how to use their strengths and weaknesses to improve you as a player. Next tip is going to be improve your rotation. This is a big one. This one I feel like I struggle with the most. Rotation is always difficult, especially when you're just going for kills. It's always, if you're doing good and you're rotating late, that's always a bad thing. Dying from the storm is the worst way to die. You want to learn where the hot drops are. You always want to be trying to gatekeep and not being gatekept. And so that way you never die from the storm. That's one of the worst ways to die. So always make sure you know when to rotate. Never leave it too late. It's better to rotate earlier than later most of the time, depending on your situation. And then yeah, just learn the rotations. Always go for have the advantage. Go for the high grounds. That way, if you're in a better position and you rotate, if you rotate earlier, you're going to be in the better position. Therefore, it's going to be easier for you to kill them. It's going to be hard for people to rotate into the circle if you're already there. So rotating is always going to be a big thing. Just learning when to rotate and where to go is always going to be something you can work on improving. Next is when to disengage. This one, a lot of people never know when to not fight and when it's okay to run. And it's okay to run from a fight. Like if you realize that you're going to lose the fight you're in, running, it doesn't mean you're a coward, it just means you're playing smart. You need to know when to run away, when to reposition and get the advantage. If someone's on high ground and you're on low ground, you're most likely going to lose that fight. If you can trick them into jumping down or rotate in a way to make you have the high ground and make them come to you, then do it. Reposition is always important, especially when you have the disadvantage. So just know when to disengage and don't be afraid to run away from a fight if you know you're going to lose or you think you guys can't win that fight. Sometimes people just have their pride on the line and they're like, oh, I'm going to win this fight, or they think they're too good than they are and they lose the fight because they're not, they don't make the smart decision to run away or to reposition. So always get the advantage, reposition, and run away when you need to. There's nothing wrong with that. Especially in gamers like ranked, it's even more of a thing you need to learn how to do and make it into your routine. Because you can lose a lot of KP and RP from that kind of stuff. Being too aggressive and not knowing when to retreat. Final tip is focus on your weaknesses and turn it into strengths. Now, focus on improving by using all these tips, but focus on the things you need to improve on first. If you have a weakness, a main weakness, focus on that thing, turn it into a strength. If you're bad at something in specific, learn how to turn that to your advantage. Learn how to make it so you can always win when you are at a disadvantage. If you can, for example, if there's a character with an ability and most people only use it in a certain situation because it's not good in other situations, do it in other situations that might throw people off guard. You always want to catch people off surprise. So I definitely recommend learning what your strengths are and weaknesses are. I always say it's better to have a bit of balance and implicate something that will become muscle memory than focus on something you're really good at. Like, you could have, this is my opinion, you could have the best game in the world, but have no game sense. Or, in my opinion, I would rather have a bit of game sense and a bit of good accuracy. That way it's balanced. Because you just have good of one thing, everything else that's dragging you down, more chances of you dying, than balancing it out and learning how to be good with every other thing. So definitely focus on your strengths and weaknesses, but just improving your weaknesses, specifically practice improving those weaknesses and turn them into advantages. And just remember to implement these 5 things in your everyday routine to become a better legend, I guess. This was a short video, you know, I wasn't going to go too much in depth, just thought I'll have little tips to help you guys out. Also, know what guns you are using for each legend. This is a bonus tip. If you find a gun that you like, know what legend it goes with. Also vice versa, know what legend goes with specific guns. Sounds weird, but let me give you an example. And I use Masters with a Wraith and a Gibby. I know 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be more comfortable with Mastiff with a Gibby, simply because of the fact Gibby has a gun shield. He's going to be able to tank more with his gun shield, therefore I feel like I'm going to be able to output more damage with Gibby. Obviously, you could be stronger with other legends, that's fair enough. But learn what weapons work well with certain legends, like with Revenant. Revenant, he's one of the best players with legends to use Wingman with, which no one really realizes. He has the best strafe speed in the game. His crouch walk strafe speed is so overpowered. With the Wingman especially, you know, him and Wraith and maybe a few other legends are really good for using that specific weapon. So learn what weapons work good with legends that you like to use. But that's going to be all. Hopefully this video did help you out, and leave a like if it did. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.